We are live.
All right, we are at the Village of Minerva Park Council meeting, July 13th. We are at exactly 7 p.m. We will start with roll call. Councilperson Cost.
Present.
Councilperson McNamara.
Present.
Councilperson Camera.
Yeah.
Councilperson Wolf.
Here.
Council President Bruger.
Here.
And Councilperson Martin.
Present.
Okay. Next, we will do Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Next, we're going to take a couple minutes I have a little special presentation that I would like to have right now. So, our police officers put themselves in the front line of dangerous and traumatic events. They become counselors, negotiators, and so much more. Our police officers face incredible challenges to keep our community safe, and I'm always grateful for the dedication to our village. Chief Matt Delp, day in and day out, shows qualities of selflessness, courage, patience, kindness, and compassion. On Wednesday, May 31st, he did just that. Officers in Minerva Park and Blendon Township, Franklin County Sheriff's Office were dispatched to the area of State Route 161 and 270 on a suicidal male climbing the overpass. Chief Delp located the man on 161 over Route 3. Chief Delp immediately recognized the seriousness of the situation, as the man was visibly upset, sitting on the bridge in a position to jump. While Chief Delp verbally engaged the subject, keeping the main attention of the man on Chief Delp, the Blendon Township officer successfully pulled him off the bridge to safety. The man was physically uninjured, but transported to a local hospital for further assistance. We just wanted to take the time tonight to give you the certificate of commendation. So we would like to present this to you tonight. We do appreciate everything you do for our village.
Thank you. Of course you do. Thank you.
You are very welcome. Again, we all appreciate you. All right. Does anybody have anything else they would like to say for anything? Are we good?
Just when I thought it was boring to be a police officer in Minerva Park.
Exactly. Who knew, right? Again, we appreciate everything all you guys do.
Thank you.
All right, next we will move to meeting minutes. On June 22nd, council meeting minutes. Do you have a motion?
Oh, move to
Brian,
approve.
we're on a-
Sorry about that.
You're sleeping at the wheel.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, guys.
I did. I moved to approve.
I know, no,
Second.
you did.
I did
And she
too.
seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? And we are good. All right, meeting minutes for the work session for July 6th.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? And
Abstain.
Whoop,
As I
abstain.
was not available on that night to be here, I will abstain from voting on that.
There we go. And that is Council President Bruger, just for the record. Okay, next we will move to our village official reports, and we will put Chief Matt Delp on blast already again. So, do you have anything?
Just, again, thank you. Not necessary, but appreciate it. At this time, I don't have anything to add to the report.
All right, does anybody have any questions for Chief? All right, next we will move to our fiscal officer, Mr. Jeffrey Wilczek.
Thank you, Mayor. Yesterday, I was able to send out the financial report for the month ending June 2023. We were able to get the bank reconciled much quicker this month. Avoided some of the problems. But anyways, if there's any questions or concerns with the financial report, I can answer them if there are. But I don't have anything else to add today.
Does anybody have any questions? Okay, next we will move to our engineer's report. Just like I did last month, We will make sure that this is uploaded online. This is an extremely long document. Mike does a phenomenal job of giving us some updates. I am gonna go through it a little bit, but just, I know I talk fast and I know some people really do want this information, so this information will be uploaded in the packet. Task order number 20 is the 2022 Storm Sewer Improvement Project. We conducted the bid openings on June 23rd. The village received 5 bids, which is phenomenal. That's probably one of the most we've ever had. 4 bids were under the engineer's estimate of $550,000. JLD Construction Services LLC was the apparent low bidder with a bid of $427,985. You guys will see that legislation here shortly. They reviewed the references for the low bidder. They prepared the contract documents pending council's approval. And then they will continue to coordinate with legal counsel about the permanent and temporary easements. So that project is moving right along. Task order number 23 is the Lake Master Plan. As you guys are fully aware, we have started getting tech memos for multiple areas of this project. Those have been sent out. I am not sure if we are gonna be able to upload the one huge document. Anything that we can upload into our Lakes Master Plan part on the website, we will get that stuff uploaded so people can kind of monitor and watch what's going on as well. So we will be working on that. But they have done the data collection and analysis. They received the laboratory analysis of the water and soil samples that they collected. The north feed to the North Lake, they prepared their draft tech memo describing potential improvements to that area. They are working on vegetation control and lawn chemical programming. The other one that we received was a trash and debris control. So they have been working on multiple areas of this project. So again, all this information we will keep on the website as best as possible, and never hesitate to ask me if you have any questions. Task order number 24 is just the village council meetings in general. They inspected services for a sanitary sewer lateral connection for a new construction on Wildwood, so that was just a quick update. And then they're also monitoring the cart path bridge replacement options. They have begun preliminary work associated with preparing tech memos for options and budgeting for pricing of the 2 cart paths. That's over in the new MI section. There's some rough areas is the easiest way to say it. So we will be monitoring that over the next few months. And that is Mike Flickinger's report. Does anybody have any questions? All right, let's move to legal. Jesse Champ.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have anything officially to report. Obviously, I'm here for any questions, and if there's questions about any of the legislation tonight, probably easiest to just take those as they come up.
Anybody have any questions? Moving right along, Eric Fisher, village planner, is excused tonight. He is out. And John Canty's report, I believe is in the packet. Is it in the packet?
It is.
I'm looking. It is in the packet. If anybody has any questions, feel free to email him, email me, and let me know. Next, we will move to planning and zoning. Mr. Councilperson Brian Wolf.
Well, planning and zoning did not, to the best of my recollection, meet in the last month. But we do have one scheduled later this month. And we have, council is still reviewing the code updates and working through that legislation.
And is it fair to say it's the 19th or the 26th?
It's fair to say it's one of those, I'm sure.
Fair.
Hold on.
It's the 26th?
26, 7 o'clock.
26th, 7 p.m.
I have the calendar.
here,
And
202.
there was the field trip meeting.
Oh, we're doing the shelter. Yes, I think we're gonna meet at the shelter maybe?
Oh, fun. Beautiful.
We're gonna meet at the shelter.
Okay.
And we will make sure that we get that updated as well.
It's on
Beautiful.
Cool, cool,
Because we
cool.
went and walked out to Hidden Pond.
Yeah, I was away.
It was fun.
And in fairness, they would like us to call it the pavilion. Okay, moving on. MPCA, let's talk to Councilperson Camera.
Yeah, so last night was the MPCA meeting. Just some highlights from it. Unfortunately, they will send out a formal announcement, no carriage rides this year. They just can't get that worked out. So they will, I believe they're working on an alternative, but the carriage rides just didn't work. There is Sip and Dip next Saturday at the pool, 8 to 10, I believe it is.
8 to
Family
11.
Family, sure, 8 to 11. Family Fun Night is the following, it's the last Saturday, Sunday
29th.
of the month.
Yes.
The Pride event went really well, they said. It wasn't a money maker for them, but it definitely stayed within budget and was good for them. Arts in the Park went well, and they said that they had a good turnout for that. Minerva Flora has been working with the village on some changes. I believe Lisa has been talking about some things and trying to get some things in the work there. They do need volunteers for Family Fun Night, so if anyone's looking for something to do, part of the village, that would be fun to volunteer for that. And I think that is it. Yep, that's all I have for that.
Awesome. All right. Next, let's move to our village committee reports, and we will start with Councilperson Wolf for Finance.
On the agenda for tonight's legislation reading is the reading of the tax budget. We had the tax budget hearing immediately preceding this meeting. Next, Finance Committee activities will be working on the 2024 operations budget. But that work will probably begin in earnest in September.
Perfect. Is that everything?
That's it from me.
Perfect. And next, we will move to Councilperson costs for streets.
Basically, just want to second what Mike Flickinger's report showed. I didn't really have a chance to read over it because it's 300 pages, but I did see the preview, so I'll just keep you posted on that once I get a chance to review it, which will hopefully be tomorrow.
Can't hear you.
I didn't read Mike Flickinger's report yet because it's 300 pages and it can't be emailed, so I'll keep you updated when I read it tomorrow. But we're on trend, on track for everything. Not wavering from a month.
Lots of legislation for tonight.
Don't
Yep.
waver. No
Yes.
wavering.
All right, next, let's move to services. Councilperson Martin.
We have a meeting coming up.
It is next Monday, 6
Monday,
p.m.
yeah.
here.
Discussing that actually.
Is that this room?
Yes. No, it's in 135. Both meetings are in 135.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. And is that it for streets? Are we good?
Yeah.
Services, sorry. Streets and services. Okay. Next, we will move to recreation and parks. Councilperson Cameron, I have to slowly read that because
It's
it's
okay.
backwards.
It's okay. So fortunately, kind of the busy season, I feel like, or the heavy lifting of this committee is past us, and it's kind of smooth sailing right now. Operations at the pool are going really well. Having some nice days lately has been great. We've seen quite a bit of attendance here the past few days with the warm weather. So we've done several repairs and maintenance over at the pool just to kind of keep things operational and running. Purchased a new vacuum for the pool, which they have loved over there and have been using it regularly. So it's nice to see it staying cleaned and maintained over there. We did get a visit from the health inspector and everything was fine there, so no issues as well. Monday night at the Recreation and Parks Committee, we do have MKSK, is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Coming to give us a presentation on potentially upgrading and replacing parts of our pool area. And then, obviously, the pavilion has been finished for the most part, just some touch-up, I believe. And I'm sure, Mayor, you'll have more to add on electrical and all that type of stuff that we've kind of been talking about as well. So that's really kind of the bulk of it. We did everything else is kind of being maintained, the flower beds and mulching around the village that we've entered into a contract with. We did get the pool clover sprayed one more time because it kind of bloomed up and got really bad again. We're trying not to only treat the areas that need to be treated, not everything. We know that we want to be conscious of our bee population, but we also don't want kids getting stung by bees all the time, so, and adults. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it right now for Recreation and Parks.
Perfect. And again, his meeting is at 6:30, right after
Correct.
services on next Monday.
Mhm.
All right, next we have Councilperson McNamara for safety.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Safety met last month and discussed a package of public safety enhancement measures. The only update on that is that I'm still reaching out to Radar Sign. This is the second time I've reached out to them about our questions from the safety committee meeting about the insurance issues if we move them and the how easily movable they are. I am going to reach out a third time, see if I can actually hunt down a contact number, because I know we need to move on this group of items. And I assume we'll need one more safety meeting to hammer out every last detail, and then we should be good to go on it.
Awesome. All right. Anything else? Good. Okay. And now we have Council President Bruger for legislation.
All right. Next legislative committee meeting is the 27th at 6:30 p.m. It's just before the council meeting. The Planning and Zoning Committee has pretty much finished and made their recommendation for the code update. And we will be doing the first reading of that this evening, with plans to get that finished by the end of August then.
Perfect.
That's what I have there.
Thank you. All right, I'll make this short and sweet. As you know, we got the bids for Jordan Road. That project is moving right along. We are in the process of getting pricing, actually I have the pricing for the stop bar painting, as well as we had some concern about the Jordan Road, where it
Double
splits.
yellow.
So I have the prices for all of that, so we'll talk about in the next streets meeting and see if we can just get that moving right along. AEP, the AEP process with Bradley Electric to get the aerators and fountains installed and some electric over at the pavilion. They are currently working with Blendon Township, so as soon as we get all of that done back, the drawings, they will get rolling on that. So all the legislation is done, we're just waiting for Blendon Township right now. As I just said, we were talking about the pavilion. It is built and people have been using it, so that's great. We are in the process of getting the fence put in next to the pavilion to kind of separate that line right there. We have been in contact with the resident there, hoping to have that done as soon as the materials come in. So the materials are on order. As soon as that comes in, we will get that installed. And I think we talked about this a little bit. We do not have a current leaf provider to pick up our leaves. We are actively working on that. So if anybody out there listening has anybody that wants to collect some leaves, we need a leaf person. So that's that. And the trash bids were accepted. We will be discussing that we did receive trash bids. So we will be reviewing those at the next services meeting. So if anybody has any interest in listening to that, that will be next week, Monday at 6. And that's all I have. And so next we can move to citizen comments. Anybody, everybody, all at once?
I can go first.
Okay.
All right.
And we'll just take turns, so we'll get you guys in 2 seconds.
And as we said before, your first name and address, you know that. And then I think you can see the little orange circle disappearing on your 5 minutes.
Actually, I cannot. There's a huge glare.
Oh.
Let me turn it.
Well, let me, well, it's also not up there yet,
There,
because it
that's
doesn't come
better.
up till I hit start.
No, that's better.
Okay. Now I can't see the start.
Oh,
It's okay, it's going.
It's gone.
Yeah.
She gets 3 seconds extra.
It's going, make more. No, I won't need the full 5 minutes. My name is Rainey Conger. My address is 4764 Black Sycamore. And I just wanted to officially say thank you for all the hard work that went into the pool this year. It's always been fun in the neighborhood. It is even more fun this year, and I know there was a lot of work into it. So just officially saying thank you.
Thank you.
And that's all I got.
Thank
See?
you.
Didn't need all my time.
Yay, that was very nice.
Thank
But we
you.
don't set it for everyone. It looks weird when we do set it.
Can I thank you?
You made it, just in time.
I was worried.
All
I
right,
believe we have some other people who'd like to come up and address.
I would, yes.
Oh, please come.
All right. I should not need 5 minutes either. All right. Well, good evening, Mayor, Council, and staff. My name is Ken Kozlowski, resident of Green Line Way. My husband, Simon Hess, and I are here tonight to ask Council for an addition to Village Code. Unfortunately, a neighbor's dying tree is a significant safety hazard for our rear yard and home, and has been for years. In April and July of this year, this tree has dropped large dead limbs, which damaged our wooden fence. Without intervention, the tree is certain to fall on our property and likely our home. Despite many efforts, this neighbor refuses to take any action. Section 665.03 of the Village Code, removal of dangerous trees, reads, all dead, decaying, and broken limbs or branches that overhang a sidewalk or street, or that area liable to fall thereon, shall be removed from said trees. When any of said trees are dead, the owner of the premises or the agent of the owner shall take up or cause to be taken up said dead trees and remove the same from said lot or parcel of land. The mayor or village administrator is hereby authorized to remove trees within the limits of the village streets that have been determined to be dangerous to the public. It's a mouthful. So unfortunately, in our situation, this code does not permit the village to take action to compel the neighbor to remove the tree, as it only overhangs private property and an area where there's an easement. I'm aware that I have the right to cut overhanging limbs from my property. However, multiple arborists have told me they will not touch this tree from our yard due to its severely decayed state, the scale of it, as it's too great a safety risk to approach. It's a constant source of stress to wonder if today is the day that more damage is going to occur. We literally watched it happen in real time, and it's just horrible to witness as these branches fall. We wonder if our roof will be crushed or if it's even safe to mow the grass underneath this hazardous tree at this point. We and others in similar situations remain at the mercy of a neighbor's willful neglect without an amendment to village code. With the safety of our family at risk, we're here to humbly plead council to amend village code to authorize removal of hazardous trees overhanging neighboring properties, not just village streets. So, thank you very much for your time. I do have photos as well if anyone's interested after follow-up.
Can you pass them around?
Yeah. Yes, please. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. There's some photos back too.
All right. Would anybody else like to address council? I know, you were sleeping at the wheel.
Well, I was doing everybody else. Tony Benedetti, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Tony Benedetti, 2937
That is a good
Irving
point.
Court. Tonight I'd like to talk about the communications here in the village, and I feel like it's gotten to like an all-time low, and the information and how hard it is to get. I brought up that we've got 2 council seats and a mayor coming up for election, and in the newsletter it says election day, and goes on to say, are you interested in serving the community, and they're and then refers you to the Board of Elections website. Well, I'm familiar with the Board of Elections website, and it took me a while to figure out where this information was at. And you have to go from the primary election down past the special election, then down to the general election, and then where it says candidates and issues. That's where the information's at. And it really doesn't explain much other than the fee, how many signatures you need, the date that you have to have it in, and that there's 2 seats for council and the mayor. Now, there's basically 3 ways to get information out to the residents, and that's the newsletter, the website, and Facebook. Why you guys will not put something on Facebook and actually explain what's happening, that there's an election coming up in November, and that there are 2 council seats open and a mayor, and if you're interested, you need to go to the Board of Elections, get a petition, get 10 signatures of residents in the village, and turn it in by August 8th. But, in the village newsletter, all you do is refer to the website. You want this information, go to the website. You want this, go to a different website. Part of a newsletter is to actually provide news and information to the residents. But, Brian's, good about using an explanation of, we can take them to the window, but you can't make them look in. Well, I would say that this window is real hard to see inside of, to be able to figure out, for most of the residents of the village, that there are 2 council seats up, and that you gotta get a petition and get signatures. You know, it only takes a paragraph to do that. You know, the chief in his report, he talked about the officer that's on probation and what that means, and he actually explained what is going on here in the village with respect to that police officer. But here in Minerva Park, you got a better chance of figuring out a food truck and the schedule of that than you do about a council seats being open. And, you know, I was there on July 5th. Myself, the mayor, and Jennifer Estes got petitions for mayor. No one, as of July 5th, has picked up a petition yet to be on council. You know, so you guys need to reach out to the residents, and how you can expect them to know that this is happening is mind-boggling to me. And JP's new at this. Anastasia and Jason, you're both on the services committee. And in my opinion, the biggest thing that the services committee, or the thing that it's supposed to do, is to support timely, I forget what the other word was, information, communications with its residents. You guys should be meeting, in my opinion, every month to talk about what we need to have in the newsletter, how we're going to present that information, because it's not fair to make Barb and the mayor have to remember all these different things that we, you know, need to explain to the residents. This really is why we created the communications committee in the first place, and it's not being done. And it was never done. You know, in the council that I was on, they couldn't figure out, what do we do? What's the communications committee supposed to do? You know, well, this is what you guys need to work on, is, and I think it takes a group of people to, you know, come up with what we need to tell the people, when we need to tell them, and referencing websites, you know, on the newsletter. I mean, if you guys don't have enough space in the newsletter, maybe you should get another page. I'm not sure who's paying for the newsletter right now, but the village gets the 1 page, the community association has 3 pages. You know, so I really wish the community service committee would start working on providing information to its residents. Thank you.
Okay.
I like the clock, thanks. Before it was.
We had the one thing before, and it kind of did a countdown, and then I realized, yeah, half the
The whole-
timers have visual timers
Yeah,
on them too.
the whole stoplight was rather childish, but it was, you know.
Yeah.
I like the stoplight.
NASCAR.
I like the stoplight. All right, we have a couple more residents here. Is there anything anybody would like to say? All right.
All right, and yeah, reminder, there are 2 open council spots. Apparently no one has picked up a petition yet to be there.
And for the record, we have had people reach out to us. So yeah, there's people reading the newsletter. There's people that definitely do know. There are people that are reading out to us. I'm not going to put anybody out
Yeah.
there, but they are reaching out. So
Yeah, I don't
there are
care
people
about any
interested.
of that. I was just pointing out that
Yes.
that's where we stand. Okay, moving on to our legislation. We have quite a few here, and some of them we're gonna be asking some questions on, I'm sure. Starting out with ordinance number 08-2023. An ordinance adding chapter 1048 stormwater utility to the codified ordinances of the village of Minerva Park, creating a fund for proceeds generating pursuant to that chapter, and amending the water and sanitary storm sewer usage charges and declaring an emergency. This is only a first reading. So does anyone have any questions on it for, I don't know, Mr. Wilczek perhaps?
Which one are we reading?
This is 08-2023. This is the first one on the agenda.
The stormwater utility surcharge.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it not, it says first reading, intent to pass as emergency.
Yeah, we're not
That's-
waiving.
We're not waiving,
Gotcha.
once we pass it, we want it to go on to.
Gotcha,
Yeah,
okay.
correct. And don't worry, I did the same thing and asked
Okay,
Mayor if
thank
she
you.
wanted that added as well.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, first reading, having been read, let's move on. On to ordinance number 0923, an ordinance amending parts 12 and 14 of the codified ordinances of the Village of Minerva Park, and adopting zoning district changes for the village. This is what's been talked off and on all summer. These are the revised code. I would like to say that council has worked really hard on this, but I think, truth be told, planning and zoning has worked very hard on it, and we have looked at it and offered some support and amendments. But truly, it's planning and zoning who gets the credit for most of the legwork on that. That is the first reading. Anyone? Moving on. Ordinance number 10, 2023. Here's where we get to the fun ones. An ordinance to make supplemental appropriations for the current expenses of the Village of Minerva Park for the year 2023 with a request to skip the next two readings. Jeff, do you want to tell us what this money's for?
Yes, the request to increase appropriations in the American Rescue Plan is to fully make use of the resources in that fund. They were held as to be used as part of the improvements to the Jordan storm sewers. There's some additional funds that were not appropriated, so this fully appropriates that fund. The storm sewer improvement fund, we're increasing the appropriations to cover the full contract and provide some additional appropriations in case there are change orders forthcoming. This coincides with the contract that is going to be requested for council to approve.
All right, so the $1,782, that's American Rescue money we had that we're moving into a new account, and the $101,780 or $100,000 is for the new sewer project because we need to get the actual amount of money that needs to be in there, and it was not previously budgeted because we didn't know what the final cost would be. Correct?
Correct.
Okay, so that's why we need it and need it now. I am going to motion that we waive the second and third reading of this ordinance.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Go ahead, Madam Mayor.
Councilperson McNamara.
Aye.
Council President Bruger.
Aye.
Councilperson Koss.
Aye.
Councilperson Camera.
Aye.
Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
And Councilperson Wolf.
Aye.
All right, having waived the second and third reading, I move that we pass this. This, of course, an appropriation and does not need to be passed as an emergency.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any debate? All right.
Councilperson Wolf.
Aye.
Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
Councilperson Camera.
Aye.
Councilperson McNamara.
Aye.
Council President Bruger.
Aye.
And Councilperson Koss.
Aye.
All right, moving on. Resolution 2023-20. A resolution to adopt the tax budget for the Village of Minerva Park, Ohio for the year beginning January 1st, 2024, and to submit the same to the Franklin County Budget Commission and to declare an emergency. And this is our third reading, so we are going to move to declare. Just for anyone watching at home, this is not the village budget for next year. This is the tax budget, which we had a meeting at 6:30 before this meeting to go over. Basically, it's just telling Franklin County, yes, we still need to collect taxes. Yes, we have things we're going to spend it on. Yes, please still give us our portion of local government funds and that sort of thing. Did I mess that up too bad?
No, that's
Awesome.
fine.
Awesome. Good. I am going to move passage and as an emergency.
Second still.
Moved and seconded as an emergency passage.
Any
Twice.
discussion? Council President Bruger.
Aye.
Councilperson Camera.
Aye.
Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
Councilperson Wolf.
Aye.
Councilperson Koss.
Aye.
Councilperson McNamara.
Aye.
I think that might have been a string motion, but well, it's a friendly game.
I didn't reach for the trips. I swear I didn't reach for the chips.
All right, moving right along. Resolution 2023-24, a resolution authorizing the mayor and fiscal officer to enter into contract for the 2023 storm sewer improvement project and declaring an emergency, and by looking at the bottom of this, I see you want us to finish it all tonight, huh?
This is the Jordan Road project that we have talked about for probably as long
6
as
years.
anybody ever wanted to talk about it, so, I don't know that I'm pushing to do it, but I think the residents might be.
Yeah, let's just do it.
All right, this is also, of course, what we just appropriated, the $100,000 to round out the fund to pay for. Now we are looking to approve the contract. I move that we waive the second and third reading.
Second.
Oh, let me do
No,
it.
no, go ahead. It's your,
Cost
it's your.
Councilperson Cost seconded, any discussion? Go right ahead.
All right, Councilperson Martin,
Aye.
Council President Bruger,
Aye.
Councilperson Wolf,
Aye.
Councilperson Cost,
Aye.
Councilperson McNamara,
Aye.
and Councilperson Camera.
Aye.
All right, having waived the second and third readings, I move to pass this as an emergency so we can get the contract signed and maybe work can begin as soon as possible.
Second.
Moved and seconded, any debate?
Let's fix this road.
It's not a road, it's people's, it's a little, it's a small brook in a backyard.
Oh, the storm one, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's got turned around. Let's fix this storm sewer area.
All right, Council President Bruger,
Aye.
Councilperson Wolf,
Aye.
Councilperson Camera,
Aye.
Councilperson Cost,
Aye.
Councilperson McNamara,
Aye.
and Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
I want to clap.
I know, right?
Can we clap?
You can do whatever you want,
Whatever you want, I know.
as long as
Thank
it's
goodness.
appropriate.
I think we all agree with, well, all of us agree on that.
All right, moving on to Resolution 2023-25, a resolution authorizing and approving the mayor and fiscal officer to sign a contract with Flock Safety to install flock cameras. This is a first meeting. It looks like a cost not to exceed $1,000 for 4 cameras.
11,000.
11,000.
There you go. I was like,
Yes,
wait, 1,000.
That'd be a great deal. Where I'm sitting, I'm right on the edge of where my glasses help or hurt me.
This is only a first reading because we have a lot to discuss, as David mentioned, in the next safety meeting. This is something that, you know, there has been discussion whether or not we want an additional 1, 2, 3. So this will get adjusted. We wanted to get it in front of everybody so residents could actually see that this is something that we are in fact looking to move forward to do, but that amount will likely change once we determine exactly how many. The other thing that I think we were trying to do is in here, the way that we worded it is, this would include the 2 that we already have. So instead of having all of these multiple resolutions, this is going to supersede the first one, and this is the total amount we would be spending to Flock, including the 2 that we already did. So that's the way that we worded it. So this is going to be including the 2 that we already have.
And what do these cameras currently do, and what purpose do they serve?
Okay, chief, answer. I am not bashing this one. I know what they do, but to explain it, he's much better.
Yeah.
The flock cameras are basically license plate readers. We have 2 of them right now, one at the entrance at Westerville Road at Mineral Lake, and one at the entrance at Lakewood, Maplewood entrance. That it basically just reads the license plate, looks for, runs it through NCIC to determine if the vehicle's stolen, the license plate's stolen, if the owner has warrants, if there's sex offenders, missing persons, Amber Alerts, all those things. So my goal was to add a new camera at Farview and 161 by the entrances to the new school. And once that discussion opened, it sounded like council might be interested in putting 1 or 2 more at other locations as well.
So these just do the license plate reader looking for outstanding issues. These don't do anything with speed or anything like that, in case anyone out there thinks that's what it is.
People can think that.
Well,
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
but
They're gonna be at every
But-
entrance. Every 100 feet.
Don't speed.
all right, well, that was just a first reading. It looks like there's gonna be some more work done on that.
Oh, wait, and Jeff would like to speak to that as well.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'd like to point out first that the 11,000 covers the service agreement for all 4 cameras. We currently have an invoice for $5,000 on the 2 cameras that are in existence. I need to meet with the chief. I'm not sure his budget is sufficient to support an additional 2 cameras. So if there truly is a desire to move forward with 2 additional cameras, I'm quite sure his budget's gonna need an increase. So I just want to bring that to your attention so you know it's could be forthcoming.
Well, I appreciate that heads up towards it. All right, moving on. Resolution 2023-26. A resolution, authorizing the mayor and fiscal officer to enter into a contract with somebody for leaf pickup. This is a first reading. If you paid attention for years and years and years, you know the first reading of this is always to enter into a contract with somebody, so we can get the legislation read in time for when we finally find someone willing to sign that contract, and then get it signed and passed in time for leaf pickup to begin. Currently, we do not have anyone, and that search continues. So moving on to resolution 2023-27, also a first reading. A resolution authorizing the execution of a contract for the collection and removal of rubbish, trash, recyclables, garbage, and yard waste from residencies. Is it that time? Has it been 2 years already?
It's been 3.
Oh.
Our price did not go up for 3 years. So in the
Awesome.
meeting on Monday night, we did receive 2 bids. We will be going over both of the bids, and we will bring it to council to determine who is gonna go in that little XXX.
Awesome, so
Beautiful.
the good news, as opposed to the leaf bid, on that one, we already have 2 bids, and we'll hopefully have a name for there soon. And that ends legislation for this evening.
All right, old business. Does anybody have any old business they would like to discuss? I'm not hearing any, so let's move to new business. Does anybody have anything new that they would like to talk about?
Move to adjourn.
Seconded.
Aye.
Third.
This guy.